What's going on, guys? It's K-Dub here with another episode of Crypto Zombie. So today is Thursday. Hope you're having an awesome day wherever you are. If we have a look at what's going on today, you notice that Bitcoin is doing well. Some of the other altcoins are not doing quite well today. So we're going to actually discuss this. Why are the altcoins seeing red today? Why is Bitcoin seeing green? And also, I want to talk about this Facebook Libra coin one more time. I know this is like the third day straight we've been talking about it, but I've actually had some time to seriously think about it. And I think it's actually a lot better for crypto than we might be leading on to. Now, I'm going to get into why before you freak out. I'm not saying I'm going to go out and just buy all the Libra coin, right? But I do want to talk about that. So if that sounds good to you, well, you know what to do. Also, if it's your first time stopping by the Crypto Zombie channel and you haven't got subscribed, what are you waiting for? We do this every single day. Now, let's dive in. Let's have a look. I'm going to give this a quick refresh live. Now, we have Bitcoin dominance going up 57.4%, and we're also up $1 billion. So this is interesting. You're noticing Bitcoin up 2%, Ethereum up 1%, Binance up 2.49%. A lot of these other coins tend to be in the red today, though. Let's look at the biggest gainers today. We have MadeSafe up 16%, Agrisha up yet again, Dent, Nash, Hypercash, Hedge Trade, VestChain, Clipper Coin, what the heck is Clipper Coin, and Digibyte, all doing quite well today. Now let's dive in, have a look at Bitcoin. To be honest with you, not much has changed since yesterday, so I'm going to try to keep this video as quick as possible, but I really do suggest you stick around to the end because I really do want to dive into this whole Facebook cryptocurrency thing and really get to the bottom of just what the heck it is and what is going to be expected when this does eventually get released. But if we have a look right here, we're still holding nice and strong right above this $9,070 level. You can see Bitcoin is just kind of going along sideways, so as long as we can stay above this, that's very bullish short term. No reason to, freak out or anything like that. We are still in this ascending, broadening wedge. Now, if you notice, we are forming somewhat of a pennant, so we may be looking for a potential, break out or break down within the next couple days. So I would definitely say by this weekend, we're going to probably have a relatively big Bitcoin move. Might not be massive, but we could see a few percentage, maybe 5%. We might come up here and sort of touch this $9,800 level. We still do know that the 10K psychological level is probably the biggest level that we need to get out of pretty much soon, and if we do go back the other way, then I think we are going to come down to this $8,500 level only because that was where we had that massive jump with the CME gap that was open. So, gaps tend to get filled. The interesting thing though, if we have a look at the chart is we notice that the previous support that was holding us during this ascending triangle basically is now becoming our resistance right here. So obviously we need to break out of that. Now you may argue right here, are we forming somewhat of this little channel right here, are we going to sort of, stay sort of between these two lines? It's possible, but as you guys can see right here, this dotted line is really what we need to get above. We've spoke about this a lot on the channel, the significance of it, why it was so difficult to break above this point. If we go all the way back to 2017, I showed you guys yesterday, we had those two Darth Maul wicks, right? A lot of people got liquidated on that day, but hopefully we'll be able to break above that. But if we look at the, very relatively short term, like I said, we did have a breakout right here, which was around June 13th, all the way up to around 9,000. It was like 9,000, almost 9,400. And since then, we've been consolidating. So like I said, possibly within the next 2 days, we could have a move. And if you are under the opinion that we should, if you consider this to be a flagpole, it's not really a flagpole technically. It's just sort of going up nice. But if you wanted to just use that, I have seen some people say, if we were to go up sort of in that same area, you kind of put it here, then, Bitcoin would be above 10,000. We'd have a $10,500 Bitcoin. Now, I'm not saying that's going to happen. We do know there is a lot of resistance at $10,000, but if we do break $10,000, well, that could definitely be good for Bitcoin short term. And, as Tyler Winklevoss said, if Bitcoin breaks 10K, you can bet it's going to break 15K and probably 20K and 40K as well, as Tom Lee was saying. And of course, John McAfee has to chime in and say, well, if Bitcoin breaks 100K, you can bet it will break 1 million, and then hopefully he will not have to eat his manhood live on television. If you don't know what I'm talking about, just Google John McAfee Bitcoin bet. Okay, now, this is what I want to talk about before we move on, though, and I think this is probably the most incredible statistic today that I found out about. If we have a look at this chart right here, this is from Crypto Voices, and what's interesting is this was actually taken when Bitcoin was only $8,940. Well, it's bigger than Russia's monetary base. So that basically makes Bitcoin the 8th largest cryptocurrency in the world. And yeah, guys, the price does keep climbing. So, long story short, if you don't count gold and silver, Bitcoin is now the 8th largest currency in the world. It actually comes in at 9th place after, if you look at gold and silver, the two precious metals. But if you look at the fiat, well, you can see where we're at right now. So you might be asking yourself, what is the significance of this? Well, if you look at the current market cap of Bitcoin around $164 billion, you can see some analysts, they're already saying we're going to see a 40K Bitcoin, which I do believe that's very possible. By the end of this year, it's possible, actually, at the rate that we're going. And considering that Bitcoin's only been around for 10 years, pretty incredible. So you can see right now that Bitcoin is bigger already than the base money of Russia, South Korea, Brazil, Canada, and Norway. So obviously with cryptocurrency adoption on the rise around the world, it's probably not going to be long before it catches up and overtakes these others like India, Switzerland, UK, and yeah, guys, potentially even, our good old buddy, the United States. So we will keep our eyes on that moving forward. Now, before we move on, though, I just want to talk about one quick thing. Okay, and this is just a little bit of a safety precaution because I noticed that I have a lot of new subscribers on the channel. Stick with me. This is something I think is important for everyone. This is an article that was written. It says how to lose $8,000 worth of Bitcoin in 15 minutes with Verizon and Coinbase. I'm not going to go into this article, but this could happen to you. So please be safe. So basically, he got a message that said on the phone with Verizon, not you. Please call this number, right? So that means somebody's on the phone and they're verifying that it's him. He tried to call and Verizon was closed, obviously. So you could see he tries to get a hold of him. He tweets out, it doesn't work. And then right here, 11:41, Gmail signs out. 11:42, Coinbase password resets. 11:34, Coinbase new device confirmation. 11:44, 1.18 Bitcoin sent. 11:45, 70.96 Litecoin set. And then 11:46, 16.03 ETH sent, which is obviously over $8,000. Now, he says, I used Google authentication before for my personal account and for various work emails, but I stopped using it at a certain point out of convenience. So basically, in a nutshell, this is what you need to be careful of, guys, because these guys can get your information, okay? You need to get two-factor authentication, first of all. And if you are considering leaving your money on an exchange, don't. That's silly. But if you're talking about Coinbase, he does suggest moving it to the Coinbase vault because this will give you a buffer of a couple days before any of the money could be touched. So at least if somebody does get in, you could be able to intervene. Before that, he also says call your cell phone company and tell them that you are likely to be targeted for social engineering. Explain to them your situation. And finally, guys, for the last time, store your coins on a wallet. Get a Ledger Nano S or a Ledger Nano X, guys. Keep your coins safe, okay? So I just wanted to just kind of, public service announcement. This guy got $8,000 of his money stolen, and they were able to do this just simply by calling Verizon. So please, please be safe out there, guys. Ledger Nano S's, you know that I do have referral links. If you want to use them, they're in the description below. But I just want to tell you guys, please stay safe. Now, the completely unavoidable topic of the past few days, we have Libra, cryptocurrency from Facebook. Now, you've seen this picture. Right here, you got the Trojan horse coming in, all of the exchanges, and, they have the FATF, the SEC, all these other things, okay? So they're basically saying that's what's hiding inside of the horse. So let's dive in. Let's have a look. And I thought this was actually kind of a really good example. Somebody was like, perfect explanation of cryptocurrency, basically the way that most people are seeing this situation currently. So I just wanted to play this clip super fast just to kind of point out,
I mean, one thing. Is it really? It's not a cryptocurrency. This doesn't excite me at all. Is it based on blockchain? At least cryptocurrencies. Actually, they say there's no inherent value, but they're creating inherent value from the blockchain that allows you to. All those.
He's totally confused, right? And I think this is how a lot of people feel. I think a lot of people are just like, I don't know what to think of this Facebook coin. I don't know what to think of Libra. So I wanted to take an opportunity, and I promise you guys, we're not going to be talking about Libra every day on the channel, but I want to talk about it today because I just need to. What's this? My recent post has breached the community guidelines. My Libra wallet has been suspended for 3 days. Thanks for understanding. So this is just one of the posts you see floating around, and I think this is what people are afraid of, okay? People are afraid of violating terms of services, right? Having their wallets locked, not being able to send their funds, right? This is a concern that's very understandable considering the company behind the coin, right? Well, you have David Marcus, and you can see by scrolling over his name right here, he is the co-creator of Libra, and he himself says, many want to pit Libra versus Bitcoin. In my mind, these two are not the same category. Bitcoin is a decorrelated investment asset. Libra is designed to be a stable medium of exchange. I have been and remain a fan of Bitcoin, but for different purposes. And you guys can see I definitely retweeted that because I like that. And, Safadim Amus, he says Libra is a payment network. The medium of exchange is whatever you use to back it. Bitcoin is itself a medium of exchange as it has value and a monetary role without being backed by anything. The other differences with Libra are, and you guys can click here and read, he has a lot of other tweets here, he goes into it, but we're going to get into it in just a second. Now, you can see over here, researchers over at Monfex, right? Now, this is a UK-based trading platform that's on a mission to simplify the global financial system. That's what they say, right? So they think that Facebook is making the right steps to transition into a financial services company. They go on to say that if Facebook does succeed, it could go on to become the world's most powerful bank, right? And we said yesterday, I don't really think it's Bitcoin that, is being threatened by Facebook. It's most likely these banks, right, that are actually having the threat. So Monfex has a ringside seat into the developments in the crypto industry as it operates a trading platform that facilitates leverage trades while providing the tightest spreads and lowest commissions in the industry. Is that true? Do they have the lowest commissions? I'll have to check that out. So anyway, if Facebook was, and here's an interesting statistic, if Facebook was a country, it would probably be the most populous country in the world based on latest numbers. The social media giant has 1.56 billion daily active users as of March 31st. Now here's an interesting thing. In contrast, China has a population of 1.42 billion people. India's population is 1.37 billion, and the United States only 329 million. So the population of Facebook, if it were a country, is bigger than the biggest country. That's number one to think about. So you have the Chinese, they have the yen, Indians have the rupee. Every nation has its own legal tender, but the 2.5 billion registered users across Facebook, Instagram, and WhatsApp, there's no globally accepted currency for the transfer of value. So Monfex analyst Alex Sopvel in a report referenced above observed that not a single cryptocurrency is used for the daily transaction needs of billions of consumers. The demand for existing cryptocurrencies come primarily from investors and traders, not from consumers. We also have a very difficult barrier to entry. One of the biggest things when I talk to people about cryptocurrencies, because I get asked about it all the time because of my channel, people know what I do, it's the barrier to entry, People just don't want to go through the hassle of setting up, I got to get a Coinbase account. And because once you're in, it's easy, right? Once you get into crypto, it's so easy to just transfer that value around. But getting from fiat into crypto, even though for most people watching, it's probably very easy for us, but for most people, it's definitely a bit of a hurdle. Now, Eric Voorheen, you guys, some people have their, discrepancies with, him because of everything with Shapeshift. Obviously, he's just trying to be compliant, but he had a tweet storm talking about his thoughts on Libra. And I actually have to say, he made a lot of valid points. First of all, he says the biggest companies in the world are now launching cryptocurrencies. Boom. That should give some type of validity. But scrolling down here, obviously this is way too much to go over, but I highlighted some of the key points. And he says that Libra will serve the mass market and be the single largest bridge towards decentralized finance that has ever been built. Prior to this, the largest bridge was basically Coinbase, right? He says Libra made the great decision to not back itself solely with USD. This has profound implications. Libra can arguably become a medium-term replacement to any single government fiat currency. Libra is arguably superior above the US government dollar. Now, before you guys think I'm just like putting Libra up on a pedestal here, guys, I'm still all about Bitcoin, trust me. But I'm going to tell you in a minute why I think that Bitcoin's price is probably going to go through the damn roof once this gets implemented, and hear me out. But let's keep entertaining Eric for a second here. Finally, and let's not minimize this one, Libra has a good chance of helping hundreds of millions of people avoid middlemen fees and increase their wealth and financial sovereignty relative to the status quo banking system. Humanitarians rejoice. Now, he does say there are a few bad sides. The first one being Libra is obviously not a pure cryptocurrency. Nobody really should expect any type of privacy. Obviously, it's KYC. They're going to know everything that you do with this damn token, right? So that's something to point out, or coin. I guess it's got its own blockchain. The governing consortium can explicitly block or prevent transactions. You won't find unstoppable finance here. So again, you know, traditional cryptos are far superior, and over the long term, any cryptocurrency based on fiat will fail relative to hard assets versus Bitcoin and gold. We know fiat currencies suck. They're horrible. They all fail. Eventually, there's no cryptocurrencies that, there's no fiat currencies that have survived. If you look through history, they've all failed. And I know what you're saying. Oh, the US dollar, right? Well, guys, literally, we got our independence in 1776, right? So that's we haven't even been a country that long. You know, you got to think about, gold being around for 5,000 years, right? So that's just something to point out. And he also says that Libra may also become the whipping boy of cryptocurrency, as the politicians of the world will get irate at having their fiat supremacy challenged. Anything that causes normal people to consider new forms of money, though, he says, on the bright side, apart from their default position of the nation, my currency is a good thing. He says Libra will crack open further global discussion about what money is, and that sunshine will hurt fiat and help all sound monies. So, originally we were looking at this, but maybe we should be looking at this. Maybe what's actually hiding inside of the Trojan is actually Bitcoin, and this is Facebook Libra. So it could potentially be a gift. Now I'm going to elaborate, and here's my reason. So if you consider this right now, and if you consider the concept of Facebook being its own, country or whatever, but don't even look at it as a country. Just look at how many people are on Facebook. I forget, 2.5 billion it was, right? So I was just thinking to myself, I've traveled, I've gone to different places, right? I had to go to Cuba, and, we've gone to Scotland and all these different places. And whenever you go to different countries, you have to convert your fiat, right? You have to get their dollars because that's what you're going to pay with. Well, number one, you always lose tremendous amounts of value in that. I lost 10% just on the transaction when I switched over to Cuban pesos. So that was ridiculous. The other thing I'm trying to think to myself is, now imagine all the people on Facebook. How many times have you gone on vacation to pick a place, just pick a country, pick any place you've gone on vacation to? For the most part, do those people in that country not have Facebook? Do you really ever go anywhere and in a, established sort of first world country type place, do they not have Facebook? And even in second world countries and third world countries, people have Facebook, right? So the interesting thing is, imagine just going to another country, loading up with your Libra tokens, right? And I don't have to deal with the exchange. And I just go right to somebody, boom, I'm sure they're going to put some kind of a QR reader in it. And now we actually have, kind of hate to say it, a one world currency. So I do think what's going to happen is you're going to have all these people that already have Facebook. They already have their banks and credit cards and everything connected. All they have to do is simply buy Libra tokens. They don't have to set up Coinbase accounts. They don't have to do KYC. Facebook already knows who you are. Let's be real here, right? So I think that that's going to open up the floodgates. And then what I think is going to happen, hear me out, is now all these people are going to have these Libra coins, right? And they're just, they're going to be looking at it. Okay, great. I got some Libra. Awesome. Bitcoin keeps going up. Bitcoin keeps going up, right? And now they're going to have that really easy access. Imagine exchanges listing Libra. Imagine Libra trading pairs, right? So if anything, I think the guys at Tether might want to be scared more than, Bitcoin. So just wanted to point that out moving forward. And also, one more thing, I think Brian Kelly summed it up the best, and I'm just going to let him explain it.
And to me, that's the revolution of crypto, is that it is peer-to-peer. You disintermediate financial services. This keeps the existing system, this does away with it, and that's the difference.
And that's the difference. So no, Libra is not a threat to Bitcoin. In fact, I think Libra could potentially skyrocket Bitcoin. It's going to open the gates to 2.5 billion people that have never had an opportunity to buy Bitcoin before, but do have a Facebook account and could easily transfer their funds to buy some Libra coins, right? So that is what I wanted to point out. Also, just to kind of break this down, if we go over here, I'm going to cover Brian's face. Just considering that we have 21 million Bitcoin, let's just entertain this fact really quick. So 21 million Bitcoin, we know that there really isn't going to be 21 because there's 4 million potentially lost forever. Plus, we don't even have all of them yet, but let's just entertain it. 21 million, right? 2.5 billion people it was on Facebook. So, what did I do here? So if we have 21 million Bitcoin and we divide that by 2.5 billion people on Facebook, right? Just to, have some fun with the numbers, that would mean that each one of those people, if they were all to try to buy some Bitcoin right now, there would only be 0.0084 Bitcoin available for everyone on Facebook. So I think that kind of breaks down the scarcity of Bitcoin, and hopefully that puts into perspective that this isn't going to hurt Bitcoin whatsoever. In fact, it's only going to create more validation for Bitcoin in the long run. So I just wanted to basically make that point moving forward. Now, also, the interesting thing was you heard Russia coming out saying that they weren't going to entertain the Libra coin. Now, we'll see if they are. They may change their stance on it. But in statements to the Russian press, you had the head of Central Bank of Russia, Elvira, probably going to say her name wrong. Let's just say Elvira. She praised the technology behind cryptocurrency, putting crypto versus fiat debate on the table, saying it will be more convenient. It is electronic money for people, for citizens. Are we ready as a society to refuse cash? I think so. Why not? So she goes on to say, indeed, the central bank digital currency cannot be realized immediately. However, many central banks, including the Russian central bank, are exploring this possibility. If we are talking about the national currency, which works as a whole in the country, that is, these are not private assets. Of course, this requires that the technology allows ensuring reliability and continuity. Technologies must be mature, including distributed registry technologies. And if that's not enough to make you guys believe that we're definitely going towards a cashless society, well, attending Fortune's Brainstorm Finance Conference, you have the CEO of Bank of America, Brian Moynihan, revealed his stance on the current developments in the field of finance. And according to him, the banking industry in general will continue to head towards digital and tech-enabled models. The main reason for this is because they are more efficient and obviously cheaper. Hey, if these guys can save some money, right? What are we printing all these bills for? That costs us money, guys. He pointed out that there's more than half of all the money transactions happening right now that are basically happening on electronic systems like PayPal or other digital wallets as well. People are using Venmo, right? He says, we want a cashless society. We have more to gain than anybody from just simply pure operating costs. So you guys can see where this is going. Even these guys want to go towards a cashless society. And as far as Libra is concerned, no, I do not think Bitcoin will be affected. I think it will directly affect stable currencies and the banks. And maybe some of these other speculative crypto assets as well, right? Okay, so that is basically what I wanted to say moving forward. I do have one announcement from VID. So basically, or VID, excuse me. So AmSpec is a global leader in inspection in the oil and gas sector with over 200 operational sites worldwide and is one of the fastest growing players in the industry, and they have recently partnered with them. AmSpec produces over 50,000 inspection reports each month for most of the majority petroleum refiners and traders. So to ensure a report remains authentic, AmSpec will be one of the very few companies in its sector to sensibly apply state-of-the-art blockchain technology. So from now on, the VID blockchain tech will protect the AmSpec values against falsified reports. Any report can now be verified whether it's an original or a copy. Great use for a blockchain. I stand behind it, guys. Also, I know, crazy that QuadrigaCX is still in the news. Apparently, the CEO traded millions in fake funds to fund a luxury lifestyle. It says the exchange, whose founder died with most of its users' funds, was allegedly involved in a vast Ponzi scheme involving fake funds and luxury yachts. And apparently, he spent all of it. He lost a lot of it margin trading. So you could see Evan Thomas, he did a very large thing up here. This is a little bit of an older story, but I do know it affects a lot of people out there. And if there is some closure that sort of needs to be made on the subject, unfortunately, I think those funds are gone. But this has been recently brought out to the light. So if you're interested, definitely check that out. But let's end on a good note, guys. What? Warsaw-based bank Allier has announced that it will be using the public Ethereum blockchain to verify official documents. Allier is only the second bank in the world to use Ethereum's public blockchain after investment bank Societe Generale issued a $112 million bond on the network in April. That being said, it is Thursday, guys. We are one step closer to the weekend. Don't forget, we do give away Ledger Nano S's every single Monday. You know what to do. Just drop a comment on any video throughout the course of the week. Thank you so much to everyone that keeps coming back and supporting the channel. I really appreciate it. I definitely could not have gotten through the bear market without you guys. And now that things have turned around, I'm happy to still be here by your side. And I can't wait to become bajillionaires with the rest of you as we hodl this amazing cryptocurrency that is Bitcoin. Thank you so much once again. I do appreciate everyone that's been supporting the channel by using the links below. Obviously, if you're tired of all these ads on the videos, download Brave browser.